Hello there, and welcome back to Vintage Story. I hope you're having a wonderful day. As you see, I've started adding stuff to the cellar here. As you can see, we moved our vessels down here. We've got some of our shelves. We're going to be making more. I'm going to be making some more of the different types of shelves from the shelves mod. We're going to be putting shelves across here, and there are a few hanging shelves. I might do those. And you know what I didn't think about? Where I would put the meat racks from Culinary Artillery, which is what you hang meat on to dry, or also you can, store sausage on. I forgot about that, so that's something I'm going to need to figure out. I did have a comment about the little nub I put there. I could make it black. We have the pallets from the chisel tool mod. What we could do is we grab something like gray. I want to put this on a different block so I don't mess it up. We can then grab the draw mode and then apply it, make it gray like this, so it kind of looks like it's metal hook or something, and then hang the lantern from it. What we could also do is, although it would be a little difficult because I'd have to find a midpoint, and we've got like one midpoint there, so the other midpoint would be like let's see, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right there, and then make a chain hanging down, which is possible, and then put the brass lanterns hanging from the chains, and we can do like one there and then like one there, so they're staggered but they're both middle. That might be an idea. I haven't really considered it yet. Yeah, these pallets, I love them. They do take a lot of berries if you make them with berries. They take 64 berries, but I mean, you get 150 uses. You can, well, as you see, you've got all these different colors you can use, and that's how I made the hanging lanterns in my last series. I'll leave that there for now. And that's what I was doing with this. I was trying to make some nice stairs to go up and down. I don't like them. They're going to be redone. But what I was trying to do was take this here and then apply the inner layer here to give it like, almost look like it's like partially carpeted. I didn't like it at all. So, but we're not doing that. We do have some more vessels about to be fired up, and more crocs gonna be fired up in a few minutes. Now, one of the comments said that having the wood here would mess up the storage rate. The storage rate was 0.27. So that means everything lasts about 4 times longer than it would otherwise. So I pulled up all the wood, put down stone, and it was the exact same thing. It went down a little bit because it's evening now, but it was the same, 0.27. So I then put the wood facade on. There's stone underneath this. If we just go in, yeah, there's the stones under there. So it's stone with wood placed on top. It's the same, 0.26. So it's made no difference. Was worth testing, but yeah, I didn't have to worry about it. But if we go upstairs, I've had to make a few changes. Yeah, I've expanded out the kitchen by an extra block. The door was there, moved it back further, because I'm going to put a railing here so you don't fall down. And it's not going to be a large railing, but like 2 to 4 blocks thick. That would leave very little room to access anything right here, especially if I need to come into this block with whatever chisel block I'm making. So yeah, I've expanded the room ever so slightly, which means I expanded this room by 2 blocks. I think that's fine. I think having this is fine, although I could always chisel this down to be a half slab to make it look less jarring, but I think it still looks fine. So here's the fun part. I was doing this. I made pillars and gave them all arches. They look amazing. Until I ran into everyone's favorite mathematical problem. The off by 1 error. So what I have to do now to make it look nice, I don't have to, but I'm going to, is this outer wall needs to come in by 1, which means that door needs to be moved over by 1, and all of these pillars need to move over by 1, and this needs to be moved over by 1, and that cutout there needs to be moved over by 1. Oh wow, it's getting dark. Like I said, everyone's favorite mathematical error. Right, now I remember what I was going to do today. Light up in here. Because my Falx just broke. And yeah, as you can see, they are spawning inside my base because there is absolutely no light in here. But that means I need to go craft up a whole bunch more bowls. Well, I don't have to. What I'm going to do for now, at least, is craft up a bunch of bowls, make a bunch of the oil lanterns. Sheesh. Make up a bunch of oil lanterns and light up the inside of the base using the oil lanterns until I get enough beeswax that I can make a steady supply of candles. There are other ways. Beeswax is probably the easiest. If I go here, candle, let's see, we have in a cook pot 3 beeswax and a bit of fiber. Or linen, or sorry, or wool, which by the way, we needed 2 more fiber until we have enough linen to make the sails on our boat. So we'll get back to that in a moment. Let's see, we can do oil, which we need the press for, rope, resin, and peat, or beeswax and peat. And that gives us 3 candles apiece. Could make hardened lard. I don't like making hardened lard. To me, it's a waste. But yeah, oil, beeswax, resin. Resin is a bit more annoying, especially since you need it for all the mechanized stuff or mechanical stuff. So beeswax, which means waiting for this to produce a comb, which should honestly be any day now. And then we'll light up in here, and we won't have rifts spawning in the walls. It's literally in the wall. But let's see. I said I think we only needed 2 more flax. We just got those 2 flax. We need to make 21. Why doesn't that always work? That's 16. If that actually split up properly, it'd be 21. 21 linen. So actually, let's take a detour. Let me grab my other Falx and grab a little bit of food. Oh, this Falx is almost broken too. Here we go. This one's good. Yeah, let me just clear my inventory and we're gonna go run over to the boat and finish the boat. So I don't remember what we needed aside from the 21 linen to finish out the boat. So, if I open my inventory, I've got the linen, some coils of rope. I got our hammer, our axe, some logs, some boards, some beams, and our saw, just in case there's anything I can't remember that we still need. So now we just gotta ride over to wherever it is we left the boat. It is that blue star on the mini-map. And then we can actually finish this sailboat and take it for a little spin. Obviously, we're not going to go head out to the next story location right this moment. But yeah, we can definitely get out, get the boat finished, and then start to plan out our journey. Because I'm going to need to make up enough food. I want to make sure all of our crops are harvested. I can plant new crops too, but I mean, we're going to be out there for a little bit of time, so I want to make sure, you know, we harvest everything that's ready or going to be ready before we head out. Of course, we don't want to go wait too long. So if we head out in, I'm heading too far out of the way. If we head out in the summer, it's about to be summer. If we head out in the summer, then obviously we'll have plenty of time before it starts getting cold out. There's a bear over there. We want to avoid that. There are a lot of bears around my base. I'm gonna have to go out and do a yogi hunt. All right, there's the boat. Let's get off. $10 coils of rope and 21. That was that. Okay. And that's it. We launched the boat. Boat is now in the water. There we go. Had to jump to actually get to it. There we go. Now we've got our boat. Let's see. How do I... Which is A to move forward? Yes. S moves us backwards. A and D turn us, but don't move us as we turn. Shift to get out. Now, how do I get my elk into the boat? Okay, quick consult of the wiki. It says we need a fence post, wooden fence post. That's a gate. I did it backwards. There we go. Wooden fence post into one of the slots. So like, right, I have to control and click to place it. There we go. Then we can rope the elk. Trying to get the right angle to this. There we go. Now the elk is in the ship. Now we can get in the ship and we can sail with the elk. And there we go. We can now sail. Is this a little island? Yes, it is. Let's go check out the little island for the first time. Cute little island. Nothing special. Does have a rift on it. So, you know, that's always fun. There we go. Now we've got our boat. We've got our elk in the boat. We can attach other things. As you saw, I can put right there a lamp. So it lights it up for us, especially at nighttime. We can have chests, crates, vessels in all of these slots. There are 8 storage slots. The elk is in one of them. So when we go out to the next story location, we can fill up the ship beforehand with chests and vessels. We put vessels in our vessel so that when we go out, we have plenty of storage. We can bring food with us, we can bring supplies with us, and we could bring back loot if there's any loot to bring back. Nice. There is no way over here to get to our home. Right, I wanted to build a way to do that. And I never did that yet. And that is going to take a very long time. Because there's a mountain there if I wanted to connect that. That might be the best way. Build a tunnel cutting through the mountain there to connect to this river So we can go up that river and down to our house. Otherwise, we have to sail all the way around to come down this river and get to our house. Which isn't that bad. Actually, in the boat, it should be pretty quick. I'm going to sail that. We'll be back. Well, I'm going to sail that. Just enjoy the boat for a little bit. When I get back home, we'll get back to work on our kitchen. I turned storms down to 50% frequency, so once every 20 days. And I still seem to get a storm every other episode. Oh well. We are almost back home. It has taken 15 minutes to sail the way around, and there is still an ice float here from the winter time. I'm gonna have to remove the ice so I can actually get the boat through. But yeah, 15 minutes to get all the way around. Not super fast, but not bad. And then we can use the ropes to moor the ship to a post, I believe, over by our house until I build an actual dock. I'm gonna have to come back over here for chisel in a little bit. I want ice for a project. If you chisel ice, you get the ice, well, you get a chiseled ice block. Otherwise, if you want ice, you have to go get glacial ice, which we do have a glacier right up there, but getting up there is a bit of a pain. That should be wide enough. Yes. Maybe. Yes. Okay. But now we've got the boat over here, so we don't have to worry about going all the way over there to get my boat back. And in the next update, 1.21, they are going to be adding some decorations for the boat. You'll be able to put shields on the boat, make it look like a Viking long boat. Let's see, put that there. I think I can do that. I sworn I could. Oh no, it's sinking. How do I get my elk out? That is funny. If you rope your elk while in the boat looks like it's sinking. There we go. Had to line it up like perfectly. Okay. That took a very long time for something that should have been very easy. Okay, off by one, error fixed. This outer wall has been moved in by 1 block. We jump up here, I can show you. Well, I can show you, it might not. Yeah, it's visible. That door was moved over by 1. That, which is going to be a staircase leading up, has been moved over by 1. And this has been fixed, so it actually looks nicer. I think I might do another layer of roofing coming down over this. Or I don't know. I haven't decided. But what I did do, and I am pleased with this, is since these two were coming together, I chiseled this down so that it actually looks like they come together, and I think it came out pretty good. This I'm not sure, and I'm getting uninvited guests. I've had a rift open right in front of my gate for the past 30 hours in game. Yeah. I'm debating cutting these down to half size and just having these pillars and these pillars all be half thickness instead of the full thickness. About this thick. But then I'd have to decide what I'm going to do with this. I don't know. This is why we need lights. Anyway, I want to show you our honeycomb. You see the yellow ring around that? That means that there are honeycombs in the beehive. So what we can do is right click to pick it up, shift right click to put it down, and then with a knife we can hold down. It used to be quicker. Now it's more like harvesting animals. But there you go. We got 3 honeycomb. Now we can place that right back on top. And in a few days, 5 days, the bees will produce more honeycomb for us. And that's really why I like the From Golden Combs mod. You don't have to constantly be destroying and recreating beehives, the skeps. You just harvest it, place it back. We actually now have enough of the hive panels to make a Langstroth hive, but we don't have enough panels to make frames. So I'm going to be processing that honey that I just put away into more honeycombs, do what we did last time with the boards to make more honey, and then we will be good to make more honeycombs, and then we'll be good to make more hive panels. I've made a bit more progress. We have a whole ton of crock pots. In fact, I don't think I have the inventory space for all of them right now, so we'll come back for them in a minute. But what I really want here are all of our bowls. So we're going to be using these to make oil lamps to cover the inside of our house with, or at least our courtyard. I did not mean to throw those. There we go. Because the way I've chiseled these, which by the way, these ones I did cut down to half size and they look great. So that's a good idea. But these outer ones, oh, I had an oil lamp on me. You can, oh. No, I can still do that. I don't know why it didn't let me do it over there. Huh. Anyway, you can hang the oil lamps from out here and that will give light. So we're going to be doing that. But in order to make oil lamps, I need oil. I could use animal fat with peat, but the animal fat I am saving for other things because, well, I haven't done much hunting and I want to start making sausage. So I made up a iron rod, and after looking at the recipe, I realized I didn't necessarily need an iron rod. Brass would have worked too. Not brass, bronze. But we're going to make a press here. So we need 12 lumber, iron rod, lumber fat, 2 resin, a normal chisel, can't use the QP chisel, and our hammer. And that makes the fruit press. So now we can put that down over here. We need to put a bucket under it, and then we can press fruit, vegetables, and seeds. I'll put a bunch of seeds in here. That's got all the seeds. It'll make 5 liters of seed oil. And then you hold right click on the screw there until it goes down. It will start to squeeze. And you can see on the tooltip there, it says it is how much has been mashed. And all of it goes into the bucket you have to place underneath. If you do not place a bucket underneath, the oil will go on the floor, you lose it. And that's true for any fluid, vegetable juice, fruit juice, etc. And then you can pick it, and then you can release the press and you'll get mash. Now, seed mash, we can feed to animals. Should be able to feed it to chickens. It does rot pretty quickly. If you press fruit, you can get fruit mash, which can then be separated into dried fruit. Or you can feed to your animals also. But there, now we have a 5-liter bucket of seed oil, which we can use for a couple things. We can use it to cook with. We can make salad dressing. We can... What else can we use it for? I forget everything we can use it for, but we can use it for a couple things. But we're going to put that there. We're going to put that there, and we're going to put, like that. I need to fill the bowl first, and then add the peat to the bowl. Got it. Wait, we don't need to fill it, do we? Should really read this. Needs 0.2 liters. and each of these holds 1 full liter. So what we need is, if you shift click on it, you get a, if you shift click on something like a barrel or a bucket with another inventory, in this case we have the bowl. The bowl can hold 1 full liter. Shift clicking will get 1/10 of the capacity. So if we shift click on a barrel with a bucket, we'll get 1 liter. If we shift click on a barrel with a bowl, we will get 1/10 of a liter. So we need 2/10. So that gives us 8 bowls with 2/10 of a liter of seed oil. We then put the peat on top. That's a bowl of peat. How am I having trouble with this? I've done it before. That's why. We need a bowl of peat. Okay. Now that I'm done being dumb, that gets us 8 more oil lamps. Dump that back in there. And now we can light up around our base so that we are hopefully not going to be bothered by nasty things anymore. Case in point. Right. Skip a post, that one, skip a post, that one, skip a post, that one. And then just for now, stick these over here. And we'll have other light sources around here also. We might do these hanging from something different. We might do lanterns, but for now, we have light. Now, as working in the kitchen, we have this setup. This is going to be our workstation, but if you remember last season, I did with the chisel tools door feature, I made cabinets that open. There's something else we can do with the chisel tool mod, and we'll get to this. That's a decorative fireplace. That's going to be made to look nice in the future. But what I'm going to do is, once I finish making this, and I have to go get some larch wood, we'll be picking this up and putting down a chisel chest, or a decorative chest. So if we take a bit more lumber here, make some boards, we want to make a chest. So 1 nail strip inside 8 boards gives us a chest. If we then take that chest and put the QP chisel over it, we get a decorative chest. Functions the same as a regular chest, except we can click a block onto it, a chiseled block, and it will take on the appearance of that chiseled block. So I have a larch tree right next to my house here. Right there. Let's chop that down to get the larch wood. Actually, I want boy, this tree got big. I want to grab my shears so I can get some more seeds. I did not get any seeds from that. That's a bit of a disappointment. Oh well. No, we got 1 seed after the fact. That's all we needed, technically. Alright, so larch saw, get larch boards, turn that into a large plank. So, 2. And then we're going to apply this to these here. Make ourselves a facade of a door. Grab that, take the color, come back upstairs. Didn't do it right. Clicking all the wrong buttons. Put a bit of black here, make it look like hinges, then do a little bit of a handle there. So there, we have a cupboard door. This looks like one. 2, 1, 2, 3. No, okay, we do want that. So there we go. So now that that's done, we take our axe, we break it, place our decorative chest down, and then we click the block on. And now we have a functional storage chest that looks like a drawer, except the block broke again. Well, thankfully, you just break it and you pick it back up. So I'm going to try that once more. Okay, you know what? We're going to do it this way. We're going to put the... We're going to put that down as wood. Take that and then paint it black. And now maybe this time it will not break on me. Yes. Okay, there we go. And there we go. Now we have a nice little cupboard, which is actually functionally storage. We're going to do the same thing over here, but I'm going to reverse it so that the wood is and the door is facing in. Now what we want to do with that... Listen, I installed lights for a reason. I saw another one. Apparently I did not install enough lights. What we could do now is grab a bucket of water, dodging the bowthorn in the process, and we can click this onto the block. Oh, that's a problem. Okay. Well, we flooded our basement. So what I'm gonna have to do, that's not gonna work that way, is I'm gonna have to remove the little bit that I had on there. That was, I've got this indented a little bit, right? I'm gonna have to remove that. I'm gonna have to make it flush. That should work. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna have to do what I did last season and have a little bit of a trim on that block there that will block the water from flowing. So I'm gonna have to fix that. Okay, this I haven't even gotten to yet. Can I? Ooh, good. I wasn't sure if I could. I wasn't sure if I could put an item on top of the chiseled planks. I'm sorry, the decorative chest. Yeah, that works. So this is a decorative fireplace, again from Chisel Tools, and the way you make that is you just put your any chisel, it looks like, over for firewood, becomes a decorative fireplace. What we can do is the exact same thing we did with the decorative chest, but I want to make what looks like a griddle top or a stove top, right? And then we can put our cook pot on that and it will look like it's on top of a stove. That's the plan. And then these over here, I moved it so I don't have to worry about the having to do this edge, because we're going to have something here. But we have this, so our wood storage for our clay ovens is literally right underneath the oven. And with this little facade, which is just 2 blocks thick, into this block here, and they're playstone, so they look close enough to the clay oven that I think it's acceptable. We could always turn the clay ovens into decorative ovens, and then, like we did with the decorative chest, make a custom look. But when I tried that last time, it came out horribly, so I'm going to not try that right now. But yes, that's our kitchen update. Yeah, I like it. I like how this turned out. I need to see if there's a way to not get that chest animation to happen when you click on it. But otherwise, it looks good. I think we'll end it here for now. This clip alone is 20 minutes long that I have to edit down. And so that's going to put us well over our time limit. So, thank you for joining me today. I hope you've had a wonderful day. Thank you to my channel members for your support, and I'll see you next time. Later.